Good morning, children. Welcome back with the next new session. So, in this session, we are going to discuss the lesson so far we have started. So, the lesson that we have started is lesson number 8, Impact of Technology on Livelihoods from 8th Standard Textbook. So far in the previous class, we have discussed about what technology is, how it has helped the lives of the people, how it has helped to make the works fast, how it has made the work so convenient. And we have also discussed that the technology has changed the some of the sectors in our country, that is agriculture sector, textile sector and service sector. Okay, so we shall discuss in detail about these sectors as well as their changes due to technological impact today's session. So firstly, technological impact that is there on agriculture. Firstly, agriculture is considered as the backbone of the country. Okay, so before the independence, most of the people living in the country were farmers, especially 70 to 75% of the people living in the country were farmers. So purely people who are living in India used to depend upon agriculture for their livelihood. So in those days, as there were no technological improvement in those days, so farmers in those days, they used to grow the crops manually. That means they used to depend upon the water. That means depend upon the rainfall. So when it rains, they can grow the crops. Okay, or whatever the water is been available on the is been available in the ponds or rivers, they used to use the water from the ponds and rivers. Then the tools that they used were axe, sickle, plow, and all these are the common the traditional tools these people used. And that too, sowing the seed, sowing the seeds, and right by the end of cutting the crop, everything was done manually by the farmers that time. But after the time has passed, when the technological changes have come in the country, when the technology has been started in the country, it helped many farmers to adopt the technological tools, that is using of tractors, okay, using of machines that helped the farmers to right from sowing the crop and finally to the threshing the crop and cleaning the husk from the seed. Everything used to be done with the machines only. Now it helped the farmers to grow the crops twice in a year. So previously it was seen that only once in a year the farmers could grow the crops, and that too it was not confirmed that whatever the crops that they are sowing will give them complete output. So maybe there will be a damage due to the lack of rainfall, or maybe heavy rainfall, that is the condition of floods may occur. So there is no no guarantee that they are going to earn a lot of money, though they are getting though they are sowing the seeds for once in a year. But when the technology has come, so as there was an improvement in the agriculture, that means farmers could now grow twice a year, that too the good yields. That means, for example, before the technological changes were brought, it was seen that a farmer could grow 100 bags of paddies, 100 bags of paddy. But after the technological changes have come, it is seen that within 6 months they are able to grow 100 bags of paddy. So that means twice a year they are able to grow now. Twice a year they are able to grow the paddy crops or whatever the agriculture they are choosing for. Okay, so this is only been possible only because of the technological changes that helped the crops to grow in less time. And that too, the using of fertilizers, using of pesticides, using of medicines, different medicines which help the plants to grow in less time. Okay, then now the farmers are not using the bullock carts. They were not they are not pulling the plow on the fields. So directly these people use the tractors to move on the lands. Okay, to to drag the land, that means to use the land, that means to just scrape the land. They use different machines which are attached to the tractors behind. Okay, so to take off the mud, okay, to take off the good soil from the land, the using of this cranes and all being used. Okay, so farmers are now able to use all these tractors and machines which are once brought after the technological changes have come. Now they are able to use the land once they are cultivated. It is seen that, see, if you might have learnt a lesson in the class 6 that once the tribal people, usually people who are living in the forest, that once the land is being used, once the land is cultivated with the crops, that land loses its fertility. But but what happens is, when the technological changes were improved, it was seen that a land can be used multiple times or more than that, multiple times or more than that. So whenever you sow a crop, or whenever you grow a crop, that land is going to give the good yields. Okay, so the technology has promised the farmers that they are going to get good crops, and that too, it all technology has also brought also helped the farmers in getting the irrigation process. That means the water is made available with the help of pumps, with the help of dams were being all constructed, and that helped the farmers to fetch the water everywhere in the farms. Okay, so in the previous days, it was so difficult that the farmers used to carry the water, and they have to just spray it all over on the crops, but and even they used to make some channels so that the water directly could enter into the fields. But later on, due to this, technological changes have brought, so the dams were constructed. Okay, the irrigation was also being developed, and the pumps were settled, the pumps were being fixed everywhere near the farms there, so the farms could directly get the access of water and grow the crops. Okay, then, though it has brought a lot of changes, though a lot of changes helped the people, helped the farmers, but later on what happened is, most of the farmers, usually the traditional farmers, could not use these machines, could not use these tractors, could not use the tools which are used particularly by some of the farmers. So most of the farmers have now lost the jobs, because they could not use these weapons, could not use these tools, or could not use the machines there. Okay, and one among them, one of the popular kind of an harvesting that has been introduced after the technology has come into the agriculture sector, that is CH. Okay, combined harvesting. Okay, combined harvesting is a system where, right from sowing the crop to taking off the seed from the husk, is all been done with the help of the machines. Now when the machine is been involving, there should be some people who are been driving, or who have been operating these machines. So there should be some people who are operating these machines, or who are driving such machines. So it has created, or it has generated the job opportunities for some people who could operate these machines. But most of the people, the traditional farmers here, have lost the jobs, because they could not use these machines. They could not understand the usage of these machines, because they believe that whatever they have learned from their previous generations, like from their forefathers, whatever they have learned, they could practice only them on their fields, but they could not perform they could not operate these machines. And because of that, many of the farmers have lost their jobs, and they were even homeless also. Okay, so these were the changes that were brought in the agriculture. Most of the people have got the job opportunities, whereas some of the farmers have lost their jobs. Most of them have sold their lands also. So this was the problems, as well as the advantages which were brought in the agriculture sector. Now over the years, it was seen that after the agriculture after the technology has impacted on the agriculture, so the farmers are able to earn more and more. Okay, but compared to the previous years when the technology was not there, now the farmers are able to grow more and more, but it has not helped every farmer. The farmer who is rich enough could afford these machines into their lands, or farmer who is having a more number of lands could afford bringing these machines into their farms and work with them. But whereas when compared with a farmer who is very poor, and who is having a single land or something like that, could not hire such machines. Hiring means just getting the machines for the rent. They could not hire such machines onto their lands, and that too, they could not bring people who can work on these machines. Okay, but for the farmers who have number of lands, or for the farmers who are rich enough and could buy these machines or hire these machines, are being profited during that time. Okay, so this was the change which was brought in the agriculture sector. Now coming to the textile industry or textile sector, this is also similar to that of the agriculture only. So textile industry is believed that it is the second largest employing opportunity next to the agriculture. So agriculture is the first agriculture creates the first employment opportunity in the country. So like it is seen that as in the beginning I have told you that 70 to 75% of the people were farmers during that time. But whereas but after that, when the agriculture sector has when the agriculture sector has been declined, after that most of the people have shifted to the textile industry also. Now it was seen that textile industries could generate the second largest employment in the country. Now most of the people in those days used to believe work with the traditionally, that means usually working with the manual hands. Now for example, we might have seen Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation, working on the charkha, spinning the cloth or yarning the clothes. So what we have seen him is just spinning the wheel and yarning the clothes from there. So this is the traditional method we people follow in India. Okay, the traditional method we follow in India. So this kind of a traditional method is known as handloom. Okay, looming is nothing but making clothes out of the threads. Okay, so as we are doing with the hands, it is known as handloom. So the cloth that is made with the hand has a lot of importance, a lot of good quality, and has a great importance in the foreign market as well. But whereas before the independence, or before the technology has come into the textile industry, so there was a good opportunity for these people who are working on the handloom could earn more and more. But when the power looms have come, power looms are nothing but making the clothes with the help of the machines. So once the power looms have come, so it has given a tough competition to all these handloom workers. Now all these handloom workers could work only with their hands, sitting at their home using the handloom machines, and sit at their home, and they are making number of saris. Okay, so but whereas it has given a tough competition to the power loom factories or power loom companies there. So what they do is they install a number of machines. That means installing means they put up number of machines into a big hall, whereas number of people, like some 100 to 100 people, are working in the power looms. So every power, again in the power loom, there were different sectors. People are divided. Some are used for spinning the cloth, spinning and making the thread. Some people are used for making the dyeing and color, dyeing methods. Okay, then some people are use it for printing or making some prints on the clothes. Okay, some are used for giving finishing touch to the clothes, isn't it? So power looms have given a tough competition for these. Now as the power looms has given tough competition, it is promising that they are going to finish the work within few hours, whereas when compared to the handlooms take a lot of time to finish the cloth. But the cloth what they have is the best quality of the cloth what they make. But when it comes to the power loom could not promise that they are going to generate the best one. Okay, maybe it is an average to the low quality of the cloth what the power looms could make. It is only because the time factor that is important factor that is making the difference, or showing the difference among the power loom as well as the handloom. Now handloom industry is where people sit at their home, or mostly there's a small area where these people install these handloom machines, sitting at their home with a group, with their family members or the relatives, sit together and they prepare whatever the work is there, they divide among themselves and they work with that. Okay, but the earning is also good enough when compared to the power loom, because people or the workers who are working in the power looms get a little salary when compared to the people who are getting a good amount of salary at the month of at the end of the month, who are working in the handlooms. Because the handloom saris have a lot of as it is a good quality, and the work which is done is also the best, and it is been appreciated even in the foreign markets also. But what is the problem here is, people are expecting more and more more and more from the power loom, because in less time they are able to produce more number of cloths when compared to the handlooms. Because no one is most of the markets, in present markets, people are not having that patience to wait for the cloth to give a final touch, and then they could buy, and then they could wear. So people are not able to have a lot of patience now. So that is the only reason most of the people are believing on the power looms, and whatever the clothes these power looms generate, they have to wear them only. Now the power looms are also giving in competition in the amount of market factor, that is they could bring different patterns, different designs, and usually these people who are working with the handlooms may not get better designs, because all these people who are using these computerized designs and all, they could work on the computers, they could bring good designs and they put it on the cloth, and this may be one of the factor. Because of that, the handloom industry has gone has been declined. Okay, then people who are working with the power looms, there is a problem with them, with them also. People who are working in power looms, whenever there is a power cut, these salaries will not be given on time. So whenever the salaries are not good, so what they have to do is, these people make a group. That means they make a they make a unit, and then they go, and then they have this strikes and all, which are they make a union, they create a union, and then they go against to the owners of the power loom, because they should be there may be reasons of not getting their proper salaries. Maybe the reason is, because of the power cut, they could not grow more, they could not make more and more cloths. That helped the reducing in the market. That means there will be less growth in the market, as well as these people, as they are not getting any kind of a improvement in their salaries, that means hike in the salaries are not there. So usually people who are working in the power looms, they create a union, and they go against the owners for the hike of their salary, or maybe if the salaries are not given on time. Okay, so these are the main problems what the people face in the power looms, as well as the health issues also been seen, where the people who are working in the power looms face the health issues like tuberculosis, asthma, women especially facing the gynecological problems, and most of the women has to leave their homes back, and they have to stay at the power loom factories and work for long hours. And next, most of the children were also brought to these power looms, so that these children could also work there. Okay, so they just leave their school, and they are coming to these factories and to work, and just with the intention of getting profits, just to intention of earning something. Okay, so this was how the technology has impacted on the textile industry. So over the years, when we compare over the years, so it has though the graph shows a more improvement in the textile industry, but there is a lot of drawbacks also with the power loom industry also. So it is better if we support our handloom workers in a country, because handloom workers, if they grow, the country is going to get developed. So we should always support these small handloom or these small workers only. Okay, so this was all about this part of session. In tomorrow's class, we'll be learning about the technological changes that were brought in the service sector. Okay, I hope you understood this part of the session very well. We'll meet up in the next upcoming class with the rest of the lesson and end up the class. Okay, for any more doubts and queries, please ask us immediately. We'll meet up in the next upcoming section. Till then, bye children. Thank you. Have a nice day.